So what is going on, guys? We are back again, and today, since it's starting to get a little bit colder here out in the Midwest, we got the lake starting to freeze up here. This is the time where we go through all these baits that have worked for a lot of the year, and one of these baits was this behemoth of a glide bait. This is the Roman-made Negotiator. As you guys can tell, I beat the crap out of it. Caught a lot of really nice fish on it. Caught one, estimated over 6 on it. This has been a really effective glide bait for me. So I want to discuss this for you. And the reason why I'm doing this at this time is because I have the Storm Arashi glide bait, which some people think is kind of like a spin-off of this bait, since this was one of Brandon Polnick's favorite baits before he designed the Arashi. It's a wooden bait. As you can see, the paint's chipped, exposing some of that wood. It's kind of like a pretty basic design. Look at the joints. Pretty spacious joint design. Comes with, I believe these are owners. You got the bigger one in the back, smaller one in the front. I got this bait for like $140, which is for a 7-inch bait, that is absurd. Like a depth 175 isn't even that much. That's like 110, I believe. That's so ridiculous, but what you get is a bait that is very stable. It's got a really nice action to it, which I will demonstrate in the upcoming big swim bait test, where I'll be testing baits like the Explorer, Antidote, Rashi when it comes in. That's pretty much what I'm waiting on. Waver 168, I broke off my S-Waver 200, so I don't really think I'm going to be able to test that. It's got a really thin tail to it. Like, if you look at the tail compared to, say, here's a Waver 200, I got hooked up one of these rods right here. It's gonna be tricky to film this, but we're gonna try to do. So you can see here's the Waver tail. Here is the Negotiator's tail. Considerably thinner. Can't really show you guys this because of this stupid rod just caught a mess back there, but here's a good view. You guys can see quite a bit thinner. You can also tell like how handcrafted this bait was. You can tell where the tail's been glued in right there. And honestly, the success that I was having with it was absolutely unbelievable. I don't really believe that the fish care what you pay for a bait. I don't really think they care. All they care about is getting this big fish out of their space. That's really what I believe is going on there. And like I said, a fish isn't gonna rear up to a bait, going to be like, oh, that bait's only worth $15. I'm not gonna eat that. I'm gonna eat that $140 one. They're not gonna do that. But what I think really sets this bait apart from a lot of the other glide baits is just like the craftsmanship put into it. Like, a lot of the baits out there are pumped out, they're mass produced, they're ABS plastic poured into molds. These are made by a single dude from about half a dozen people in Japan, handcrafting these things out of wood, hand testing them in the tank, weighting them. Like, the amount of work that goes into these baits is something that is really impressive. Everything down to the signature on the back. It's a really nice bait. It's got a little bit of a taller profile, which I tend to like, because it just gives the bait a little bit more stance in the water, makes it appear bigger. Like, a good example of this would be, do I have any jigs laying around? Yeah, here's a swim jig. Swim jig. If you take a swim bait, you can see this looks a lot bigger than that, and that's because of that bigger profile. And I think with swim baits here's a 6-inch hook in comparison. You can see how much taller that thing is. It is longer, but it's also taller. So as I was saying, this taller profile really makes the bait appear bigger in the water, in my personal opinion. And that's pretty much what I gotta say. I did kind of accidentally bang this bait on a rock or something. You can kind of see. Oh yeah, I remember how it happened. So there was this fish I had, and as I was trying to get it unhooked, it flopped, and the bait was in its mouth. And right on some tarmac, and got a little bit of a dent in there. I don't know if you can see it, but that's pretty much like why I decided to stop fishing this, because I'm like, oh, I can't beat this up too bad. I have to at least retain some part of the action for this test. So I basically been semi-retiring this thing until this test. We'll see how it stacks up to proven baits like the Rashi Glide, and yeah, that's pretty much it. The Roman made Negotiator, by far one of the most expensive 7-inch baits. And are you getting your money's worth? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see until I test all these baits side by side. A little side note, since the water is so cold, these baits might move a little bit differently because the tails might not be as flexible due to the higher density of the cold water. But yeah, so we'll just have to see how that affects anything, and we'll see you guys next time until that test. So thank you guys for watching, and if you're new, you want some more swim bait content, hit that subscribe button. We'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching.